Let's talk about the intersection between customer experience and employee experience. I mean, are you a big believer that it's impossible for employees who are having substandard experiences here to help customers achieve great experiences? What's that sort of linkage?
I mean, the thing about a business like Intrepid is we don't have a secret IP. We don't create some unique widget that no one else in the world creates. We don't have a rare technology. Our IP is our people. And make no bones about it. So when you go through a pandemic and you have the destruction of what went on, the most important point for us was to retain our key people in the business because they're our IP. So we know our people need to have a wonderful experience. The way we do it at Intrepid, or the way I think about it, is in a circle. So at Intrepid, we tend to try and start with purpose. And I mean purpose in terms of the great positive impact that we can have on the world. And Intrepid's been a leader in the purpose space in terms of many, many things. We had a responsible travel manager in 1999. We've been a carbon neutral business since 2010. The first to ban elephant rides, 2014. Signatory to the United Nations Global Compact since 2008. We are the first tour operator to have science-based carbon reduction targets. So we take real, strong, purpose-led actions. And I find that purpose-led actions tend to increasingly, in this day and age, engage our people. And so then I measure those purpose actions with a goal. I then measure our employee engagement with employee net promoter score.
Yep.
And we invest a lot of money at the moment in terms of improving our people experience through our chief people officer, but also right throughout the organization. Engage people always help you have more engaged customers. Just quite simple. And so we measure our engagement of customers through net promoter score.
Yeah.
Engaged customers typically lead to us generating more sales. And we measure that through standard growth in dollar revenue. And if we are generating more sales because we have a strong commercial model that's been built up over 35 years, we're able to generate a better financial return, and we measure that through EBITDA. And then the better EBITDA results we deliver, the more we're able to invest in that purpose. And it's that cycle that works incredibly well for Intrepid. So employee experience is an absolutely critical part of that circle, and it doesn't work without it.
And I'd say that circle would work for most businesses. It's just the effort and commitment to see it through, where it can often be challenging for management or leadership that are focused on short-term results.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got that sort of longer-term view, that's the Harvard service profit chain, it just becomes a flywheel that...
I think for a lot of businesses, though, they don't really spend enough time on the purpose piece.
No.
They might say they do, but often it's greenwashing, often it's ticking an ESG box. We really believe in it. It's been at the core of who we are since 1989, our inception. We're the world's largest certified B Corp.
Yeah.
B Corps are businesses that are independently verified as having the highest standards of environmental and social performance and transparency. So it really is core to what we do and what we stand for at Intrepid. So I'm sure many businesses say they do it. We kind of get independently verified. And I think it's a key part of our success story. And it's why, we have an employee net promoter score of 57, an overall net promoter score of 76. These are, decent scores. Can they be better? Absolutely. But, they're fairly impressive.
It's the proof points that make it real. I think that especially with younger generations, that corporate talk around purpose is one thing, but what you've got is a number of proof points that show that we're serious about it, and they're constantly reinforced, which gets people excited and engaged about working for a purpose-driven organization. Whereas, if you're a large multinational bank that talks about creating financially rewarding futures for our customers, but then at some stage you're also doing things that are illegal and whatnot, it just grates and people get it.
Yeah, you've got to have action. And then you've got to have advocacy. And those two things are a fine balance between the two. You can't have too much action and not talk about it, because otherwise you don't get the good messaging in the world. And you can't have too much advocacy over the action. There's got to be substance to the action. But if you get that balance between the two things right, I think it can be an incredible engager of your people. And look, for us, being a certified B Corp, the best thing about that is that we attract better talent. At Intrepid and the travel industry, it's no secret. It's a low margin business. At the end of the day, we make somewhere between 5 to 6% profit on every trip we sell. So we're not making enormous amounts of money. So one of the reasons people come work with us isn't because they're going to get the biggest salaries in the world, but it is because of what we stand for in that engagement piece, which is important.
Have you ever applied some of the customer experience strategies or tools to employee experience? Many years ago, we started taking a number of the approaches we use around customer to sort of map the journey, identify pain points, and then intentionally redesign the experience with a focus on target memories and emotions. We started pushing that into organizations, saying, well, why don't we map the employee experience from first day to 10-year anniversary? Why don't we identify friction points? Why don't we deliberately design the employee experience rather than just fixing it? Have you done something similar? Where
I would say we're still at the early part of our employee experience journey. We recently brought in a chief people officer who joined us in, I think, February or March. So she's only been with us for 6 or 7 months. And I would say at this stage, she's taking a lot of low-hanging fruit, and we're getting a lot of early wins and some pretty big steps forward. But yeah, I can completely see that benefit of mapping in the same way that we do with the customer journey, the people experience journey. And I think the other thing about Intrepid, we're a fairly unique business in the sense that we have lots of people who've been around a long time, like myself, 18 years. Our longest employee has been here over 30 years now. Equally, we have lots of newer, younger people coming into the organisation. So finding and striking the right balance of engaging our newer talent, our newer workforce, particularly as we grow. Intrepid's growing or grew at a compound average growth rate of 20% in the 4 years leading up to the pandemic, and we're now back to record numbers now. So you're kind of a fast-growing organisation, lots of new people coming in, but also got to make sure we're respecting and getting input from those people who've been around a long time too. So I think the mapping is something that we'll look to implement with Megan.
Yeah, well, look, I really enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate the clarity and the candour. So I'd just like to thank you for your time, and it was great to cover some of these topics off, and look forward to seeing what you do with Intrepid over the next few years.
Fantastic. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, James.